Hi, so welcome to the review of the English edition of Jewel Art. I will be comparing it to the Japanese publication of the same name. This is not out yet, actually. They were selling a few advanced copies at San Diego Comic-Con. It is published and translated by Udon, which you guys may recognize as some of the artists behind a lot of the Capcom or Street Fighter art. As of filming this, it's August 17th, I believe. If you look on Amazon, the release date says September something. Please note, though, that this date has been changing for the last 6 months, since this was supposed to be released in May, then pushed to June, and then July. So who knows? Okay, anyway, so first off, what you might notice is the finish is a little different. If you look at the edge, it says Udon on the top. And, it says Kazuki Takahashi Yu-Gi-Oh! Illustrations. And while it's a Japanese publication, it'll say V-Jump Special Book, since Yu-Gi-Oh! Runs in Shueisha's Shonen Jump, but I guess V-Jump is sponsoring or publishing this. Still says Kazuki Takahashi Yu-Gi-Oh! Illustrations in English, then Jewel Art, and then, in Japanese says, Takahashi Kazuki, or and then Yu-Gi-Oh! Book, I guess. The back is exactly the same as the other one, in English and in Japanese. You would just notice in English they will have a little blurb description. It's like, it's time to duel! The original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga ran for 38 volumes and has been adapted into multiple anime television series and spawned one of the most popular trading card games in the world. Jewel Art collects the fantastic color artwork of series creator Kazuki Takahashi, along with rough concept sketches, tutorials, and exclusive interview with Takahashi Sensei himself. And then you'll see, an Udon Entertainment production, their website, the ISBN number, and the retailer's price of $39.99 US. So, let's see. Published in Japan 2001 by Shueisha Incorporated and printed in Hong Kong. So you may notice there is an immediate difference in the sheen, whereas this is just straight up a hardcover, high gloss with metallic writing. The Japanese was, actually it is a hardcover with a gloss, but this outside thing is a separate sleeve. So actually you can remove it, and there's Yugi, just the illustration of Yugi and Yami on the back. So that is the first notable difference. Opening them up, the English book has a slightly different cardstock. So this is going to be English here. This one will be at the top Japanese. So it's basically literally the same page by page. It's just literally in English. So the front cover, these two are exactly the same. Just says, Kazuki Takahashi Yu-Gi-Oh! Illustration, Jewel Art or something. And then this one says Jewel Art, Kazuki Takahashi Yu-Gi-Oh! Illustrations. Then there's the table of contents in the English book, and in the Japanese book, same exact thing, but the kanji is next to it. And the page numbers, I believe, are actually the same too. The cardstock the paper stock's a little different. I would honestly say I think the Japanese one has a slightly higher quality of paper stock, but the illustrations in both came out very beautifully, regardless. It is literally page by page, straight up translation of the Japanese book with some localization, for example, Dark Magician is, called Black Magician in Japan, but, for in English, he's known as Dark Magician. Let's see. So for page by page, it's literally exactly the same. They just have to change certain wordings to match the English dub or what they've translated it as. And what I think, this area is a little different because it's horizontal. It's page 36. Okay, give me a second. The difference is because Western audiences read left to right, but in Japanese stuff is published right to left. That it's vertical versus horizontal. But actually, no, that was another interesting thing, is this book actually is left to right instead of right to left, despite that. But then yeah, each chapter has introduction. So this one's called Contraposition. For better or worse, fate has the tendency to bring opposing wills together. They clash, they rely on each other, and they finally part ways. This concept of contraposition, where these disparate spirits meet, could be called the cornerstone of the Yu-Gi-Oh's world. And these were the featured original artwork he did just for this book that were on his website, Studio Dice, but his website has since not come back up. So you have the Soul chapter featuring new illustrations of various Duel Monsters characters, and then very nice timeline and description of the various arcs and where the pieces of art fit in. Oh, actually, were these the... trying to remember. Like, a lot of these illustrations were used as the cover for the tankobons, which are republications that are a lot smaller in size and more compact, and they came with tarot cards. So that's the following chapter. So that was the first volume of the Bunko Bonds cover. This was the second, and then so on and so forth. The tankobons have not seen a release outside of Japan as well. I have one somewhere. I will have to find it later, but yeah, this is the final chapter. And let's see. Oh, and then this was... oh, so actually it's really interesting. This illustration is actually supposed to be post-manga series, so it's just Yugi and his friends, he doesn't have the puzzle anymore, but they're still enjoying everyday life. And the sign, they translated it as no card games allowed in the store. They're playing cards and eating. And then, so here it is a model chapter, which features rough sketches of various things. So, I think this is actually a rough sketch that became the Yamayugi statue, which I actually do have. Yeah, it's, whoops, I covered that up, sorry. It's that one right there. Yeah. And, ow! Stepped on something. Sorry. Okay. So, I don't know if that means that this will be a Yugi model in the future or something. That'd be really cool. I kind of wish they included an Osiris in it. But, and then, in a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, Bonds Beyond Time, Kazuki Takahashi actually did a storyboard for one scene in a movie. It was when Yamayugi was kind of doing a Destiny draw, so he did the storyboard for that. And then, so we have more of Yugi, some rough sketches for his covers. Joey Wheeler, but in Japan it's called Jonochi and stuff. Here's Kaiba, and then Bakura, and Merrick with his crazy face. Okay, and then Isis or Ishizu is Char. Oh, I guess they kept that. No, her name's Isis. Never mind. And a rough sketch for the Dark Magician, which his figure looks a little different, but who knows? Maybe they'll make that. And then the Dark Magician girl. So I think these were rough sketches for the Kotobukiya figure. Because, yeah. And then Blue Eyes and Red Eyes, which these two actually became these $500 resin statues, which were really nice. And then the God cards. So this one you may recognize became the reprint art illustration, which he has in the previous pages. Some GX concept sketches. He designed the main characters as well as a couple of the monsters like Yubel, Moles, Neos, and then 5D's character designs. He actually did the main 5 signers, and then early he's early Yusei. He says it was actually based on his bedhead, so that explains a few things. And then early Geiger. They changed the names to match what they were called in the English dub. I think these were early Darkseid Carly concepts, maybe, but I'm not sure. Early sketch of the D-Wheel with the dragon concepts. This is Red Nova. This is Shooting Star. Environment design. Rough concept of the idea of riding duels, and then unused designs. So this could have been like alternate Crow or something. He seems kind of hard to animate. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal, or Zexal, he did the main character design, as well as probably Utopia, and a few other characters you'll see. And, concept for the dueling feel of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal. And then the last chapter is Origin, which is like the manga covers and full color spreads, but you can see like... So here we have the creation section, which is basically his process on how he did the artwork. For the special edition Slifer the Sky Dragon reprint. And the nice thing is, 'cause I'm not fluent in Japanese, so this was really useful. He first starts off with rough sketches, and then to like decide on a pose or something. And let's see. Well, okay. I begin with a rough on copy paper. Form is extremely important, especially when it comes to dragons. So at this stage, I include a number of different poses. He uses a mechanical pencil with, I guess, tinting? No idea. Then with the general composition decided, I begin to sketch out the rough while adjusting his form bit by bit. I begin to flesh out the design with the rough sketch as a basis. Drawing in effects increases the overall intensity of the drawing. At this stage, I have the composition and color scheme decided. So after that, he's basically kind of finalizing. He traces it, then he scans it in, and then he's using Photoshop, and he paints with Painter. So, he starts with the background. He's keeping in mind, like, light sources and stuff, and then, like, goes on to, like, adding the backgrounds, and he adds color to Slifer, and then like, it just shows his basic processes, and then a final illustration at the bottom. And then the next page shows the rough for this illustration. See, I don't remember what this one was for. I think it's just for the book. Deciding on poses and stuff, and moving on to Painter. And then tools of his trade, like various traditional mediums, and then like the Cintiq and art books, which is, it's funny because if you can, it's hard to see like with my camera, but like some of his books is like Hellboy. There's one Star Trek, like Ships of the Fleet. There's a Star Wars book. I think you can see Ghostbusters boy there. I think he's just really into Western culture, so that's why he liked it. And after this is a very strong reason why I bought this, because this is the interview with Kazuki Takahashi, which was really super useful. And a few of them, like, he just kind of talk about his influences and like how he started drawing manga and stuff. And then like I think one of the most interesting things is, let's see, it was about the original Yamayugi's, like, clothing, how it was, like, that really tight leather thing, Let me see, I'm trying to find it. Okay, so, it's this one. Like, do you have any non-manga inspiration? So he's a fan of Tim Burton movie Edward Scissorhands, and that really influenced Yugi's costume. He thought the lines and details of that sort of quote-unquote bondage fashion were really cool, and then, like, even though it was in a school setting, having an ordinary school uniform with a t-shirt underneath would be boring, so he gave Yugi the bondage elements underneath the jacket. Definitely unusual, haha. And I was like, okay. I think it said he actually started designing, like, corporate logos, so, like, I guess his typographic design, and then he moved on to manga illustration. And, there's just a lot of really cool stuff, especially in this interview. I might try to transcribe it, or try to transcribe this later, though I'm pretty sure it's online somewhere. I'll try. Talk about the development of GX 5Ds and Zeal, and then this back page shows creator comments on the various illustrations he did. So this one was actually monsters from Yugi's deck during his ceremonial duel against Autem. That one was actually designed for during, I think it was one of the really big earthquake or tsunami that I think it was the earthquake that messed up Japan pretty bad, and he's just like, we support you, and then he's holding up Yugi with marshmallow on, and and then there's an afterward thing at the back. It's been already 7 years since serialization ended, but now we finally get a book with all these illustrations. Nothing makes me happier than thinking of all the fans who've supported Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting to relive their memories of the series through the characters in this book. I only hope to continue improving so I can keep creating work that I'm proud to call dual art. Thank you so much. And then, Date Takahashi. And then, that's the original Japanese one. And that's actually, he got a dog, so that's his dog, I guess. I'm trying to remember another one. This one was really part of the interview that was really inspiring because he, like many artists, myself included, I don't think we're ever satisfied with our art. There's always something we can improve, or we're kind of frustrated. Why can't we draw like this person or be as good as this person? And then even he has that thinking too now. I just want to try to find it. It was just really inspiring to see that, even this guy has the same kind of artist problems that, others do. So it's just, just if you're going to be an artist, keep practicing your craft. You can only get better. And if you don't practice, you're not going to get any better. And after that letter, I think it's just, the publication, details. Just in the Japanese one, I'm going to close this up because it's just blank last 2 pages, and then back, even in this one, this is the Japanese one you're looking at now. Publication details, and then blank, and then okay, so that's dual art. And then I just want to touch on this just came out. It's called the Millennium Book. It's a new character guide that came out similar to the previous one called Gospel of Truth, which, I have the Chinese version of it, but this was the one made hella years ago. This old one was characters' birthdays, or some of them at least, and then basically events in Duel Monsters and the duels and how tough they were and stuff. And then this one, you notice new illustrations. Yugi and Kaiba from the 2016 movie with Autem in the background, but this is a slip sleeve actually, so take that off, but it's oh! And then, includes Yujo and Unity, and comes with a really cool poster inside. The front is basically the cover, so Yugi and Kaiba with Yami in the background. And on the back is the movie poster that was first shown at Comic-Con, and then they included it here for everyone who bought this book. And whoops. And inside in the beginning, there's a blurb about the movie, and there's the new Blue Eyes, new Dark Magician, Kaiba, and then I can't read this. I think it says it's probably either director or writer is Takahashi. He's the big honcho for this, and then character sketches for character designs for Yugi in the movie, more intense eyes and stuff. And see, he's wearing the jacket as a cape, so that's why when people were like, "Oh, that's Yami," and I was like, it could be Yugi because he's wearing it like that too, And then here's Kaiba and his crazy Google Glass or whatever. My theory is with this neural interface here, it's he's taking it one step further with a masochism, and like, you know, any damage is like super actual pain or something, like Sword Art Online or something, you know, like your mind's in the game. Here we have the designs for Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. Like new Blue Eyes. Laser show or something. And then we have Jonochi, who's at the Comic-Con panel. He mentioned he tried to simplify the hairstyles so it's a little easier to animate. And here we have Otogi, or Duke Devlin. He's back. He's got a pretty cool condor necklace going on. There's a new design for Anzu and for Honda. So the crew's all back. Yay! And then Bakura. Now you Bakura fangirls probably just squeed there or something. Some screenshots from the trailer. And then special interview, which I can't read, I'm sorry. Like, I'm pretty sure someone's translated, otherwise if I find one, I will link it. This one talks about the new villain, I guess. I forgot what we said his name was. And I said the Millennium Book contents. It basically character profiles for everyone from the beginning of the manga. So we have birthdays again, and then, you know, featured duels and like, you know, shadow games and stuff like Battle City or something. Just goes through the story arcs basically. So, you know, Battle City Finals, and then like Millennium World, and then in the back was actually, let's see, oh yeah, more featured characters and stuff. But in the back there's actually the Egyptian characters, right? They actually put their birthdays on there. I can find it. Oh, yeah, okay, so those numbers are the win-loss records and their total duels. So Ishiza's won one and lost one and had a total of 10 duels, I guess, during this season, or something card? Maybe cards used or shown. Okay, hold on, I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Ah. Okay, well, anyways, actually, okay, so what's interesting is the Egyptian characters actually all get birthdays and ages, but the catch is they're written in the original, like, Egyptian calendar, which is based off, I think, off of harvest seasons or something, so I'm just like, well, so, you know, someone's probably already tried to figure it out, but yeah, it is, sorry, my treasures. Ugh. So Mahado is like Nairu, whatever, water something season, the 15th day or something, and he's 22, and he's like, I want to say 183 centimeters is like 6 foot or something. And then like blood type, and then favorite food and least favorite food. So I guess his least favorite is ram meat. And I don't know what his favorite is. But yeah, so that's pretty cool that they finally put the birthdays for everyone. And in the back was, I don't know what was in the back. It was pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, and then it talks about the cards. And I think some kind of stamp thing you can do to get a bonus download or something. And yeah, so that's the back. Remove the sleeve, it's just writing. Yeah, so that's Millennium Book. That is the newest character guide, available in Japanese at the moment. I don't know if they'll ever translate it, but if you have a store called Kinokuniya, I think they have like 3 in Los Angeles' area, and 1 in San Francisco, 1 in Seattle or something. There's like 2 on the East Coast. They might carry this. I found this behind the counter. Like, I was checking out and I was like, oh dude, it's right there. And then otherwise it should be with the Yu-Gi-Oh manga. So that is a review of Dual Art English, Japanese, and, well, English versus Japanese, and the Millennium World. So thanks for watching. Hey, bye.